out of purpose, bread and circus, just peep the verses. Every time when evil surface, living out these evil curses. I see my people hurting, COVID got these people nervous. It's a damn shame, can't even walk in the store without a mask on. I'm a wise man, mad, praying oppression won't last long. Turn class on, Captain Yachty driving something heavy. Can't lose focus, I'm ready. How we gotta fight these demons? Whole lot of niggas being bitches, whole lot of bitches being petty. Black, Hispanic, Native, we all niggas. One West, home, mother killers. Even though they hate me, they gon' feel us. Fuck them other niggas, we the realest. And we ain't never scared. Just pay attention, my nigga. Here comes the circus once they give you the bread. All this bullshit I ain't feeling it. Gotta peep game, be vigilant. All of my niggas stay diligent. Everything I rap, we living it. And I'ma prophesy until all of my people rise. Just open up your eyes, pay attention.
That's how they get you. Just pay attention to the bread and the circus. Bread and the circus. That's how they trap you. Try to distract you with the bread and the circus. Bread and the circus. That's how they get you. Just pay attention to the bread and the circus. Bread and the circus. That's how they trap you. Try to distract you with the bread and the circus. Bread and the circus.
Voting for the lesser two evils is nonsense. Social media keep you distracted with foolish content. You keep scrolling, the weak folding. Since 1969 we hold it down and keep rolling. Rolling hard with battle scars from proven soldiers. My people destroyed, corrupted venom from these wicked cobras. Until it's over, gotta man up. Kwame Yasha Allah, they shooting us with our hands up. Don't fucking cowards, prince of the power, but I ain't shit without my team. We hit the scene and stay prepared to meet the king. Sword in our hand, ready to stand, ready to fight, ready to kill. And for all my brothers, I give my life. It's a time to fish and it's a time to hunt. Stay on no, put down a blunt. Don't get killed cause you trying to stun. Gotta keep ready for the battlefront. That's how they trap you and distract you with the bread and circus. But you can't see cause you too blind behind them curtains.
That's how they get you. Just pay attention to the bread and the circus. Bread and the circus. That's how they trap you. Try to distract you with the bread and the circus. Bread and the circus. That's how they get you. Just pay attention to the bread and the circus. Bread and the circus. That's how they trap you. Try to distract you with the bread and the circus. Bread and the circus.
All right, clap it up, clap it up. This is the Israelite School and Universal Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Today is Tuesday, and today's class is the Brotherhood class, and what we're going through today with the Olympics being right around the corner, coming up on, I believe it's Friday, right? Yeah, I believe Friday. We're going to get into, like the history of it, what it does to our people, because a lot of people really don't understand, the distractions of what these sports and the Olympics are pretty much what it does to us. It's more of a sleight of hand, so the oppressor doesn't give us what we actually need and let us not focus on what has happened to our people out here in these streets. If you could, we're going to also get into like I said, the history. And then we're going to also get into the scriptures of how what they did back then is what they're doing now. If you could, Rom, can you give me bread and circuses go ahead and give it to me in the Wikipedia. Matter of fact, go ahead and read that first sentence that ends with appeasement and then jump down to that second paragraph, the beginning of that second paragraph.
Khan, this is the Wikipedia.
Oh, hold up. First off, you guys got any questions in class? No? Okay. Go ahead, Ron.
Bread and circus from the sources Wikipedia. Bread and circuses, or bread and games, from Latin panem et circenses, is a metatonic phrase referring to superficial appeasement.
Superficial appeasement. Remember that. Keep that in your minds. Go ahead and go down to second paragraph.
Khan, second paragraph. In a political context, The phrase means to generate public approval,
Uh-huh.
not by excellence in public service or public policy,
Go ahead.
but by diversion, distraction, or by satisfying the most immediate or base requirements of a populace.
See, these bread and circuses are pretty much what these sports and what these games is. Olympic comes around every 4 years. You know, tensions are high all the time. But within these Olympic Games come around, we're more worried about who's running, what's going on, what's her name, Shakari. You know, we all worried about she running, who's going to be on the Olympic team. You know, who's going to be gymnastics. You know, who's going to. We all so confused. We all they distracting us with all this diversion and placement that we not worried about our brother that just died in the street last week, whose foot was on whose neck the week before. You know, we not worried about what just happened, you know, last month, but we're worried about these games. We're worried about, you know, who's going to get this fastest man alive. I know it's going to be a brother. I know it's going to be him. I need to go ahead and watch these games because I'm rooting for him, you know. Go ahead, keep reading. And it's going to show you who the populace is because they only do this for a certain amount of people, a certain type of people. Go ahead.
By offering a palliative, for example, food or bread or entertainment, circuses.
So the bread and circuses means that they're going to give you food, they're going to feed you, and then they're going to entertain you. This is a common tactic, common political tactic to not let the people know what are you doing, especially with these laws in this world and how they affect our economic system. Go ahead and read the next one.
Juvenal, who originated the phrase, used it to decry the selfishness of common people and their neglect of wider concerns.
The common people. Like, we are the common people. Your poor people are the common people. Your poor people are the populace. You know, what they did back in the Roman times was, you know, they'll have the gladiator games, and then at that gladiator games, they'll throw bread in the audience, you know, to appease the people and make them root for them. They'll be in the audience screaming, you know, Caesar, Caesar. And as soon as he throw that bread out, get that order, throw that bread out, the crowd goes wild. Next thing you know, they eating bread, and now they seeing, like, our brothers and sisters in the gladiators getting killed, getting butchered, you know, and not even worried about the political and poverty that they're going through. Go ahead and keep reading.
The phrase implies a population's erosion or ignorance of civic duty as a priority.
See, they're not worried about the civic duties or the priorities of what's going on in their city, because we're worried about, like I said, the games, worried about who's playing this month. Like, look what's going on right now, man. We more worried about, you know, the NBA finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's some what just happened? Club just got shot up, a week ago? Like, 2 clubs just got shut up a week ago. But you know what? Chris Paul playing. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to see what's gonna happen. He gonna make that. He gonna see if he gonna make it to the finals. He gonna get that ring. I'm rooting for Chris Paul. You know, but we're not worried about the poverty, the neglect. You know, what's happening to our people in these streets. Every single time that these games are also put in a certain area of why people dwell. It's always in the city, in the impoverished areas of that city. Go ahead and give me the Coliseum in Wikipedia. You have something to say, sis? Okay.
This is the Wikipedia version of Coliseum. The Coliseum is an oval amphitheater in the center of the city of Rome.
The center of the city of Rome. Now we here live in, you know, we in Houston, Texas right now. And where you see where's the Toyota Center? Where's the Minute Maid Park? That stuff is located in the city and in the center of the city. It's located in the center, so that's where all the impoverished areas, always located in the impoverished areas of the neighborhood, so the poor can get to it faster. you know, because they don't have like a lot of them don't have a lot of transportation. A lot of them don't have like a lot of bus systems to get to that to that stadium. So, but if you go over here, if you try to go to in Houston, and you go to the rich areas like River Oaks, somewhere in Sugar Land, ain't no stadiums over there. Ain't no stadiums in over there back off in like Pearland area and things of that nature. Ain't no stadiums over there, but it's always nestled in the area where it's a lot of apartments that surrounds the stadium. Like Toyota said, it's like a flood. It sit right behind the apartment complex. Or you go to the Minute Maid area, you see nothing but like homeless people just sitting around that area. It's right next to Tent City out here. You know, right next to the bridge on I-45. It's a reason for that. Go ahead and keep reading.
Khan. Just east of the Roman Forum, it is the largest ancient amphitheater ever built, and is still the largest standing amphitheater in the world today. Despite its age, construction began under the Emperor Vespasian in 69 to 79 AD in 72, and was completed in 80 AD under his successor and heir, Titus.
Now, if you know history, and you know what happened to us around 70 AD, Christ told us before that once you see the Romans coming in, start to ransack Jerusalem, go ahead and flee into the mountains. Go ahead and flee into the mountains, where the mountains was over there where Africa was. So go ahead and flee up to there, because they about to mess some stuff up. They about to burn the city of Jerusalem to the ground, and that's what they did. In 70 AD, Titus and his father came and just ransacked Jerusalem. If you read the book, I believe it's Babylon, Timbuktu, it tells you that. It says over a million black Jews fled to Africa in that time. But the ones that didn't get away, they went ahead and gathered them up, and they were your gladiators. You know, they were your slaves that Titus and his father took and put in that Colosseum. As the brother read, that Colosseum got completed. When? Go ahead and read that one more time.
It was completed in 80 AD under his successor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Under his successor and heir, Titus.
See, so that showing you that after they ransacked us, after they put us in slavery and gathered us up, they put us in these gladiator games that had us fighting each other, fighting bears, fighting lions. You know, put about 3 or 4 Israelite brothers all in the Colosseum together, and then have them fight by 20 Roman soldiers, 20 gladiators dressed up as Roman soldiers, all for their amusement. This is what they did. And we not worried about what happened as far as our people or how that happened. We are looking at the games. We are looking at seeing how we get messed up. So they make sport of our turmoil. This is what they do, and this type of thing is a real big distraction to our people. And when you look at just our people in general, we put our bodies, our lives on the line just to try to get out the hood. I mean, you look at a brother. He'll all thing he's thinking about is he be in the hood. He's trying to get out and get in the NFL or the NBA. You know, he start out young. He in the field or whatever, getting banged up and beat up. You know, some brothers get they leg broken, their knee broken. You know, I remember I was playing high school. You know, brother had his leg bent backwards. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get that scholarship, trying to get that NFL, get that NFL draft pick. You know, I mean, like our people focus on 3 things. It's either we get in the music game, we get into sports, or we get in the drug game. You know, the rest of them try to get some education. At the end of the day, it doesn't really. Those 3 things don't help our people. You know, we still trying to do whatever we can in this society, in this white man's economic system, instead of just coming together and knowing who we are and follow our culture. Give me Ecclesiastes 1:9.
Colonel Wakan, this is the book
What
of
we before you do that, what we need to know is that there is nothing new under the sun. What they did back then is what they're doing right now. This is an old tactic. You know, get the people under you and keep them satisfied with entertainment and warlike type of activity. Sports, football, that's a warlike type activity. You know, that ain't nothing but another gladiator game. You getting in the field to dominate your brother, to dominate that team ahead of you. That's what that is. The NFL is nothing but a gladiator game. You know, the Olympics is nothing but competing with another nation to see who's better. You know, the whole Olympic system is you're doing like you're celebrating Greek gods. You know, the whole torch running, getting the torch, lighting it up. You know, you got all types of God worship in this whole Olympic system. But go ahead and read that for me.
Colonel Wakan, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be.
Mm-hmm.
And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
There is no new thing under the sun. The scriptures say that. I mean, we can, why change something? Why change a tactical play when it works? You know, it's just like reading the 48 Laws of Power. You know, a lot of brothers read that. A lot of people read that just to get above their adversary. Your oppressor read our books to find out what type of people we are. To look at history to see what their forefathers did to our people and try to keep that same ball rolling. Like they rejoice in our plight and trouble. It is entertaining to them. Give me Judges 16 and 25. You got to see, because they did the same thing to our brother Samson. They took his pain, his turmoil, and they looked at it as sport. You know, while they sitting back drinking and laughing, and they see they like to see us get banged up and beat up, you know, all for their amusement. Go ahead and read that for me.
Colonel Wakan, this is the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 25. And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, call for Samson.
Now, this is after the Philistines would have captured Samson, and they had him locked up in the prison. And before then, they gouged his eyes out. So this brother got his eyes gouged out. They cut his hair, and they got him sitting up in prison right now. And while they sitting there drinking and having a good time, you know, the Philistine dudes messing with them, the hoes in the party, whatever. They like, you know what? Let's get some sport. Go ahead and call Samson. Call Samson and bring it to us. Go ahead and keep reading.
Colonel Wakan, that he may make us sport.
That he may make us sport. That he may entertain us. So he said he may while we drink, we got something to look at. You know, this is a game to us. Go ahead and keep reading.
Colonel Wakan, and they called for Samson out of the prison house.
Go ahead.
And he made them sport, and they set him between the pillars.
See, they set that brother between the pillars and made him sport and try to laugh at him and throw wine at him and things of that nature. But unlucky that they know that brother called upon the Most High, put them pillars down and killed every single Philistine in that building. Scripture said that he killed more Philistines he did his whole time when he was alive in that one building. Go ahead and give me Lamentations 4 and 17. One thing is when we look at this Olympic Games and things of that nature, we got to look at our brothers and sisters to see what they do for this. Like they put their bodies on the line for another nation of people. You know, like I said earlier, like we get up, we cleave to another nation, we look for someone that gives us no help. Go ahead and read that.
Colonel Wakan, this is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes have as yet failed for our vain help.
Mm-hmm.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Like we looking upon another nation to help us, just like how we go and fight in their wars, you know, to help them. Like we look and fighting the wars that didn't ask for help, and then we look upon them and they don't give a damn about us. They look us as game. You look back in history, even back to now. They look at us as just fair game, like we're animals out here. Go ahead and read verse 18.
Khan. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets.
Go ahead.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
That is how we feel. A lot of people, a lot of our brothers and sisters feel, especially in the neighborhoods that get neglected, that get chastised by these police, things of that nature. You know, like we, instead of looking at that, instead of seeing how our people are getting oppressed, how they're getting shot in the streets, how they're hunting our people, we're getting distracted by this Olympic Games. We're getting distracted about even how they take a transgender man and put him in a competition with women. Like, just think about it. You have, let's say you a sister, and you've been training since you was like 6. You know, for the shot put or whatever, a weightlifting competition in the Olympics. You sitting there competing, and you getting ready to compete against, you know what I'm saying, equal people like women. Next thing you know, this oppressor comes in, full-fledged dude, just took some pills, some we call it start with H, hormonal pills. So he can grow some titties on his chest, and then he can compete with you, sis. Like that is nasty. Like that is, you can't even fathom something like that. It's like you coming to the game, and you you look like you. What's that movie Space Jam? You come to the game, you about to fight a whole fledged of aliens or something like that. Like you wasn't even looking at the competition like that. Like I got to compete with a dude, right. Like a full-fledged dude. His bones are denser, his muscles are different than mine. You know, you gonna like this dude can lift 3 times much as I can, but you got me competing against a dude in a weightlifting competition, in a shock output, or even a track and field. Like, are you serious? They got an actual man competing with women in track and field, like in college, winning all types of medals. Right. I wonder how. You know, like that is how we just sitting there putting our bodies on the line, putting our time and patience and training day and night. At the end of the day, it still means nothing to these people. Go ahead and give me Maccabees, First Maccabees 1 and give me 1 and 10. I'm gonna try to go there with you also. I'm gonna show you how, just like how they did back then, how are they doing now, as far as they'll come together. Like our so-called leaders will come together with other nations to persuade them to build facilities, just to fatten their pockets for the oppressor. Like they'll come together and like other nations say, let's build a facility. You know, let's build a training facility next to the Toyota Center, next to the Minute Maid Center for the athletes, so they ain't got to go nowhere. They can train harder. They can work. Train harder, compete harder for the entertainment of our people. They did the same thing back in the book of Maccabees in the Bible. Go ahead and read that for me.
Khan. This is book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus.
Hold on one second. First Maccabees. All right, go ahead.
Khan. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Now, Antiochus was the king. Remember that name. His name is Antiochus. He was king ruling over everybody at that time, ruling over our people and everything of that nature. Go ahead and keep reading.
Kana Wakan. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
These are the same wicked men that are your Jesse Jacksons, Al Sharptons, your Cornell X, those type of men, that got a lot of followers of our people, but they're only worried about fatting their pockets. They would do anything to make sure those pockets are fat. Matter either it's running over our people or putting our people in the middle of harm's way, just to get the limelight on themselves, get that light shine upon themselves, so they can get even more followers and get more money in their pocket. Go ahead and keep reading.
Kana Wakan. Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
Now these type of men are doing just like I said earlier. They will go and say, let's go make a covenant with our oppressor, the same people that oppress us, so we can go ahead and make a covenant with our oppressor so we can get some money in our pockets. See, but they don't understand how a white man operates. It ain't no, okay, we're gonna get this money together and yeah, we're gonna eat. No, you're gonna get this money for me, and I might give you pennies on the dollar, right, if I'm generous. Go ahead and keep reading.
Kana Wakan. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So they're looking at, since during the time they departed and Israel was together, they're looking at like, we ain't really making as much money as we could. We need to come together so we can, make a covenant with them, and see if we can, fatten our pockets, be more, seem as more of a highlight to our people, more of a highlight as far as getting their families, as far as bringing their families up on top. Go ahead and keep reading. So hold on, these are the same people that are like, what's his name? That preacher that had that dollar in his name.
Creflo
Dollar. That's these type of people. They looked up and carried. I mean, I remember saw some on YouTube or something like that, where they put Creflo Dollar in a chair, in the king's chair, and carried him around above their heads, just circling around, talking about he's the Most High's spiritual leader or whatever. He's the Most High's voice, things of that nature. That's the type of people we dealing with. Somebody that want to be looked as the man amongst their people. Go ahead and keep reading.
Kana Wakan. So this device pleased them well. Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
So the king was like, you know what? I'm liking this. I'm liking what you're saying. Make a covenant with you so you can go ahead and work for me, so you can go ahead and get more money in my pocket. You know what? I'm going to give you some permits and some licenses to build these facilities, to build these, training facilities for these events, to go ahead and do what you need to do in this kingdom, so we can get more income, more traffic in this area. Go ahead and keep reading.
Kana Wakan. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem.
A place of what?
Exercise.
Read that one more time. Where and they did what?
Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
According to the customs of the heathen.
Built a place of exercise according to the customs of the heathen. Like every stadium, every or quote unquote coliseum that you see in every city, there's always like a training facility either built in that stadium, or built like right across the street or something like that from that stadium, so the athletes can train. This is the place of exercise. that they built in Jerusalem. They do the same thing back then. They do the same thing now. You know, like just they have training camps. So like when you go to football stadium, they have the training camp facility right next door to the stadium. You know, this is what they do, according to the customs of the heathen. And like even when you look at the heathen customs back then, like they used to do the games butt naked. Like they
Right.
used to compete with each other. You know, used to have us do this naked and just look. They said, well, look at the specimen of that brother now fighting with a sword and a shield in his hand. That's what they used to do. Now you look at it now, you see people doing track and field. They look like they butt naked half the time. You know, you gotta run around on the track and field in your drawers. You know, like that's the customs of the heathen. Go ahead and keep reading.
Verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised,
Mm-hmm.
and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
Like they went ahead and did anything they could to appease their heathen king. Like they went and just to make sure that they can make him happy and promise him all types of silver and talents and things of that nature. Matter of fact, give me 2 Maccabees 4 and 8. Any questions in the room? Questions in the room? Matter of fact, let me check, make sure any questions. Okay. Okay, yeah, we too off. Let me get that with you also. Like this whole Olympic, this whole gathering of so-called nations together to see them compete amongst each other, all this is in the Bible. We're reading this right now.
This is book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 8. And burned the porch, and shed innocent blood.
Hold on 1 second. This is 2 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 8.
2
Maccabees chapter 4, verse 8. Go ahead.
And burned the porch, and shed innocent blood.
Hold on, bro. I don't think you
Hold on, Salaki.
I don't think you there. Where you was at?
You say 4 and 8?
Yeah, 2 Maccabees 4 and 8. Now this is our so-called leaders, our high priests, promising, you know, the king that they can get even more money building these places of exercise for them. Go ahead and read that for me. Matter of fact, start at verse 7.
Give me 1 second, Salaki. But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus called Epiphanes, took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhand to be high priest.
So this is Jason, the high priest, about to speak to the king. Go ahead, read. King Antiochus. Remember that name, Antiochus. Go ahead.
Promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents.
Go ahead.
Verse 9, besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise,
Go ahead.
and for the training up of youth, in the fashions of the heathen,
Go ahead.
and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochians.
So this brother said, man, look, I'm gonna get you 303 score talents of silver. I'm gonna make you like 300 and 400 times as more if we get these exercise facilities built over here. Then plus, I'm gonna train them at the youth, so they're gonna start young. How old are you when you start doing gymnastics to get to the Olympics? They about what, 5, 6? That's at their youth. This is in the Bible. Read that one more time, verse 9.
Colonel Wakan. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise, and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochians.
I'm going to have them in the name of Antioch, just like how they have the name of the Rockets on your back. You know what I'm saying? The Bucks on your back. You know, they're going to be competing in the name of Antioch. Like they have our youth in the fashion of the heathen, as the scriptures say. I already said it earlier that they have them, competing back in the day like butt naked. Look at the youth when they do gymnastics. What are they wearing? Like these young girls are wearing like very, very revealing clothes when they're doing gymnastics. Like, a pedophile is having his field day watching the gymnastics. What? Like he watching it with his remote and a bottle of Lubriderm to the right. Like he like about to have a field day. Go ahead and do that double tuck. Stick that. Ooh wee. Like this is what they do in the custom of the heathen, building facilities. Go ahead and give me where I'm at right now. Go ahead and keep reading, matter of fact. Go ahead and keep reading.
Colonel Wakan, verse 10. Which when the king had granted, and he had gotten unto his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion.
So when we compete for these other nations, we're dressing like them, all revealing, running around the track in underwear and the fashion of them, just doing anything we can to compete and being in the fashion of these other nations. Go ahead and keep reading.
Come, verse 11. And the royal privileges granted of the special favor of the Luz by the means of John, the father of Eupolemus,
Let me see.
who went ambassador to Rome.
Matter of fact, drop that. I'm gonna go. Give me Isaiah 51 and 23.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 23.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna try to get that with you. Isaiah 51 and 23. Read that for me. This is the Most High telling what he's going to do. Go ahead, read.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 23. But I will put into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over.
Go ahead.
And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street, to them that went over.
Like we bow down to these other nations when we sit here and try to compete for them. We do everything we can to try to even get equal, to be equal among them. Like we looked at as nothing when we try to compete with these people. Like we walk around with their flag on our chest. You know what I'm saying? When we look at the Olympics and when they playing their allegiance or pledge of allegiance, whatever they nation symbol, we turn around and we salute to them. You know, we bowing down to them. It's to the point where we starting to take a knee just to show like, hey man, you know, can you stop killing us? Can you stop doing something? I mean, I'll take a knee if you can just do that. You know, if you can at least do that, like the scripture is showing what we're doing. You know, this is the hell that we going through. Go ahead and read. Give me Baruch 4 and 2. What we need to start doing is pretty much following the laws and honor our own nation. We need to be doing things that's going to shine a light, not just amongst ourselves, but amongst our nation, to the point where these other nations will be like, man, you know, not only are they self-righteous, they doing things that's going to please themselves. Because right now, we bust our butts just to please another nation. So they look at us as trash, but then we bring the money, we bring the pockets to these other nations instead of ourselves. Like if we can turn around and let's say like LeBron James, Ice Cube, like I said before, you know, these athletes turn upon to make their money themselves and start their own league. You know, like we'll take all the attention and put it amongst our people, and then they'll take that money and put it back in the neighborhood. If everybody had that same mindset, our nation would be unfuckwittable. Like they couldn't mess with us. Like you think Wakanda was something. Like what? We'll be walking around here looking like the Jetsons. Go ahead and read that for me.
Wakanda. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. Give not thine honor to another.
Give not thy honor to another. Like walk around and show your light. Walk around and show who you are. Like wear those fringes. Keep those laws. You know, when people see you, they're going to see like that is a light that's shining. Like those people are following those commandments. Those people are somebody to follow. Like they show an example of how you should act, how you should walk. And go ahead, read that. Start at verse 3 again.
Give not thine honor to another,
Uh-huh.
nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation.
When we compete in these Olympics under the banner of America, under the banner of China, under the banner of, you know, Germany, like we're profiting to a strange nation. That is not our people. Like we're putting our lives, our bodies on the line for another nation so they can profit. You know, the scripture just said, you know, nor the things that are honor to another, give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable to another nation. Like, this is straight. This is our 48 laws of power. Right. This book right here is telling us what to do, how to be above all these other nations. Go ahead and keep reading.
Verse 4. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us.
All right, when the Most High see us come together and do something as a nation, under the laws, and following the commandments at the same time, like that brings the Most High, you know, joy. Like that brings our nation to another level. Plus, look, when you look at sports, who are you watching the sports for? Like when you look at these teams, what you looking at? LeBron James, CP3. You was looking at Kobe. You know what I'm saying? You looking at brothers. You looking at our people. Every time you look at the baseball games, you seeing like a Cuban or a Mexican brother out there dominating. You know, you looking at tennis. At first it was Serena. Whatever dominated, now you got another a sister dominating. Now Namoki, I forgot her name, whatever name is. Another sister dominating the field. It's like Usain Bolt, Jamaican, dominating. You know what I'm saying? Our people are making these sports. When people look at sports, they're not looking for Jerry Makufovic, Larry Skamuskamic or something like that. They looking for us. So you take us out of the equation, ain't nobody like watching them games. We over there in the games, we crossing, going between the legs, breaking ankles. You know what I'm saying? We doing the fade away. You know, when you see boy your younger in your younger days when you was hooping with your homeboys, what you say? Oh, Jordan, Kobe. You ain't saying, oh, Sklowski. You ain't you ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? That like our people are making these sports. Take our people out. Let us do our own thing. Bring that money to our own people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's to the point where you even look at these college games. That these boys be putting their bodies on the line, and they don't even get paid for it. They didn't even get paid for it. I think that they just now. I think I read that just now that they just starting to maybe pay them something. But at first, these boys weren't getting paid nothing. They sitting there eating Roman noodles every day. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make it to class. Some brothers be playing football, giving the college all types of millions of dollars. He's sleeping in his car. People walking around with his jersey on their back, you know, going to the game, spray painting their belly, you know what I'm saying, with his name and his number, you know, and looking like a fanatic, you know, and then he's sitting there scrapping for dollars because he's getting his body broken and waking up at doing 2 or 3 a days, working out day and night. Then got to go back and try to get that degree if he can. Some of them just try to hurry up and just drop out and get in the NFL as soon as they can because they in that poverty. You know, they trying to get their family out of there. This is the type of situation that we in. We got to understand what we're doing, understand what these games are. These are straight a distraction to see what we are going through as a people. Give me Isaiah 52 and 1. Let's see if I got something up here. Let me see if I got it. Trying to get it's in the room. No questions in the room. Yeah. All right, go ahead and read that for me.
Kanawakan, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 52, verse 1.
Hold on. All right, go ahead and read that for me.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 52, verse 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments.
So this is saying, awake, Israel. You know, put on your garments. Put on who you are. Go ahead and keep reading.
Kanawakan, O Jerusalem, the holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean.
Go ahead and keep reading.
Kanawakan, verse 2, shake thyself from the dust, arise, and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion.
Like this is saying, like, shake off all these other cultures. Wear who you are. Wear your garments. Wear your fringes. You know, wear your crown. You know, wear your culture. Know who you are. You know, don't make a covenant with these heathens and hide who you are. You need to illuminate who you are. So these not only that these nations know that you can't be messed with, but just your other brothers and sisters. When you see another brother and sister walking the way he walk or moving the way he is, like it gives a different type of motivation. Like when you see just like when you see, hate to like when people see what they call it, the Muslims march up and down the street, they for some reason they feel like, oh, that's some unity, that's brotherhood. They see that and think it's something. But let's say if you actually walking around with your garments, walking around with your holding your customs, walking around with your crown, that is empowerment. That is brotherhood. Or you see another brother treating other brothers right. You know what I'm saying? Not looking at each other in these streets And when you see a brother accidentally bump into him, you're not looking at him as an enemy. You know, you step on a brother J's in the club, you enemies for life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You bump a brother, then 2 weeks later, you walking down the street coming out the store like, that's that same brother that bumped my shoulder. That's a slap on sight. We getting it in. That's the type of attitude we don't need to have with our people. Just show your coach, know who you are, understand that these games, these Olympic games, are something that comes around every 4 years to shake off the tension that is going on in the world. Not just in your area or neighborhood, in the world. Like how these nations come together, use our people to put money in their pockets. Just imagine wherever the Olympic game is being held, that city is going to have a lot of money generating in it. This is why, like, when the Olympics come to like America or something like that, they fighting to get it in that city. Like they like, man, now we want to have it in Atlanta. Now we want to have it in Houston. Now we want to have it in Miami. Well, they want to have it in that city because that city is about to be packed with tourists, packed with money, vendors. Like it's about to be a whole celebration and event field. Like it's not just a day or two. It's like what 2 weeks? That's 2 weeks of money just flowing into that city. That's why when you see just looking at the NBA finals or the All-Star game, you know, when you see like big sport events like that, you see all types of rental cars coming out in that area, Bugattis. I'm seeing cars that I ain't never seen before in my life. I can't even pronounce, you know, the Mitsubishi Gudushi or something like that. I don't even. Car got three doors. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't even understand some of these cars sometimes when I see when All-Star weekend or something like that comes around in the city. Like that's what this is for. You had something to say, Ron?
Conor McCon, and also like when they had those events, you know what I'm saying, they do, you know, our brothers and sisters there on the streets, you know, they clear them out of they ways. Like when we had the Super Bowl down here a few years ago,
Yeah.
you know, all the people that were in Tent City,
Yeah.
and the other places in downtown, they end up sending them to jail.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? The so-called clean up the city and portray like, you know, like Houston is this great,
Yeah.
clean place, you know, suitable for, you know, the whole Super Bowl and invite all these other people down here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they put everybody in jail. Like even like in the Olympics, you know what I'm saying? You know, other countries do it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They round up all they poor people that are on the streets and they ship them off somewhere.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that also gives them grounds to do what they really want to do with that part of the land anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they want to redevelop it
Yep.
or you know, sell it, you know what I'm saying? Now they can sell it, so now it's clean now.
You are absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? Also, one more thing, sir, about the bread and circus thing that earlier that you was talking about. You know, it's crazy that, you know, that's a tactic because, you know, like in the neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, they schedule like town hall meetings or whatever, you know, around like, you know, like the rival high school football game
Yeah.
or homecoming. Well, they know every black, Hispanic, or Native American in that area is going to be at that event. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll have a town hall meeting voting on your neighborhood or your community.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it can be something as simple as, you know what I'm saying, instilling the contract to fix the street
Yep.
or doing this and doing that. But then they'll have a town hall meeting, you know what I'm saying? So if there's no one there to vote against what they're doing, it easily passes. So if they want to say, okay, we're going to raise the taxes 50% and just take anybody home that you know, owe over $1,500, they can do it because nobody voted against it.
True.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I have to say, sir.
Hey, you were right on the money. You know, and like you said, when they clean up, they did that. It was a big news article about that when they did that in the Dominican Republic, I believe, when Olympics was over there.
That was Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic,
Yeah.
one of them, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, the one they did that, and they did that all for the cameras. You know, because
Right.
they just want to show how beautiful that city is. and things like that. But when they turn them cameras around, and you see all those like metal houses and those metal like buildings like shacks, type of all going up the hills, and you see everything. It's almost like you pushing all your clothes under the bed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what they did. Open the door, push all the clothes and toys in the closet before mama come in. You know what I'm saying? So the house look clean. That's exactly what the brother's saying. That's exactly what they do in every city, especially when the Olympics come. They push everything to the side to look clean and welcoming, because that's the best thing they try to do. They try to make everything look welcoming so they can get as much traffic, as much people, as much money to come into that city. And you're right. I actually seen people get locked up just for being on the street.
Right.
They got a name for that. I forgot the name of that. Man, I forgot the name of it, but it's like on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, they'll lock up homeless people out for like, I want to say 2 or 3 days.
Right.
But as a person in the street, that's like, that's a hotel.
Right.
They getting a meal.
Right.
Being in prison or being in jail, whatever. But with that, just understand that what this nation is doing. Understand that this is a distraction, and understand that when you see these big events, start looking around. Something is going on at the back door that you need to pay attention to. With that, I'm gonna pass the class to who got it? Young man, you pecan? Joe, Troop, pecan, okay. Go ahead, what you got that?
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, and Malachi 3 and 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. Memorial of blowing of trumpets, first day of the 7th month, Monday, 6th of September, 2021. Leviticus 23 and 24 through 25. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And these are the security announcements.
My man, Yabukan. Good job. With that, salute the brothers and salute the sisters. Men of Israel. Majum. Majum Shabbat. Majum. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Yaspatah. Turn to the sisters. Sorry. Men of Israel. Majum Shabbat. Majum. Barak. Yahshua Bashem Yahushua. Yaspatah. Class dismissed.